indivisible goods. Yes, one of the reasons why we feel that law of diminishing marginal utility is unrealistic or have some limitation is for most of the commodities they are indivisible. So in case of indivisible goods, the law of diminishing marginal utility does not hold true. I'll try to explain. See, one of the assumptions we make while arriving at law of diminishing marginal utility is divisibility, which means we can divisible the big goods into small part, a consumable part, a reasonable size, and we can consume it. But in reality, this assumption is practically difficult to implement with many goods. Two big reasons. Either the good is so big or the commodity is so big that it is used once, the demand is satisfied, or it's in such a manner that we cannot divide it into small parts. Let us understand TV or a house or an AC or let's say a farm, a car, we cannot divide it into small parts. So what happens? For these kind of commodities, we generally buy it only one time. So the repeated demand for these kind of commodities is not there. So it's single use. So for this kind of product, let's say if I buy a house, I'll not buy the next house immediately. So the utility or the satisfaction level for second house is there or not, or increasing or not, the question does not arise only. So there are certain goods for which the use is only once, or I would say we just does not buy it repetitively. So there is no question of marginal utility for them. So for them, the law of diminishing marginal utility does not hold true, or even not applicable. For certain goods, they are so huge, they bulky, so it becomes very difficult to divide into small parts. So, for the second consumption of the same part does not arise. Example, I eat jackfruit. Now, jackfruit is so big, once I have some part of jackfruit, I don't consume it to the second jackfruit. So, the utility, the marginal utility does not come into picture. And hence, what do I understand? That since there are certain commodities, some certain goods which are indivisible in nature, this law does not hold true for them. Hence, for indivisible goods or commodities, the law of diminishing marginal utility does not hold true because of their bulky or huge nature, or most of the time we buy it only once. So there is no question of marginal utility arising. And hence, law of diminishing marginal utility does not apply for such goods like TV, farm, refrigerator, cars, and so on and so forth.